Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Blanco the Slime, and today here on the channel, we are going to be doing something new, going over my personal top 10 favorite vehicles, or, vehicles I would recommend that every GTA player should own. These, of course, are my opinions, so this is an opinionated video. Please do not get upset or offended if your car is not on here. If you have a different list, please feel free to leave your comment down below of what your top 10 vehicles are. This is, again, just my personal favorite, but before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It takes 1 second of your time and it helps the video and channel perform better in the YouTube algorithm. So anyway, let's get into it. First off, we have the Pegassi Zentorno. This car is an absolute legend. It has a special place in my heart, man. I remember when this car was first released, it was like magnificent, bro. This car was like God reincarnated into a vehicle. At the time, it was definitely the best looking, hyper sports car or whatever. The customization has been updated for those of you who don't know. If you owned a Zentorno in the past and you want to, retouch it up, you definitely should go visit a store and retouch it up. Of course, this vehicle does only cost $725,000. The price is absolutely amazing for what you get. The vehicle has excellent handling, very good speed. It's not, it's not going to blow out any of the top 10 cars in terms of speed and stuff like that, but the handling, I personally feel like it sticks to the ground much better than most other cars. The looks of it are absolutely amazing. Of course, this video, looks, performance, price, whether it can make you money or not, these will all be factors taken into account. And this car has the looks, the performance, just the funness, if that's even a word. This car is very fun to drive, man. This car looks awesome. It's fun to drive, sticks to the ground very well. And for any beginner that's looking for a faster car and you don't have much money, this is definitely the car you want to go for, and definitely the biggest bang for your buck. For $725,000, I promise you, you will not be able to find a car, a sports car at least, that performs better and looks better than the Pegassi Zentorno. Absolute legend, and definitely couldn't make a vehicle list without including this car on my list. Definitely had to be included in the top 10. So very happy to start off the list with the Pegassi Zentorno, and now let's move on to the next vehicle. Now, moving on to the next vehicles, we have two here, actually, and I kind of rank them the same. These are both in the 9th place for me. This is, of course, the Night Shark and the Insurgent. I personally slightly lean more towards the Night Shark. I think it's just a little bit better. It's a little bit faster, handles well, and, of course, it could take 20 rockets. I believe the Insurgent can only take 8. If I'm wrong on those numbers and that math, please, feel free to correct it in the comments down below. But I believe the Night Shark could take 20 rockets while the Insurgent can only take 8. Of course, the only difference is the Night Shark is not bulletproof. The windows are not bulletproof. But you can, of course, install the window plating like I have here, and it will, make it really hard for players to shoot at you. This car also comes with a mounted gun on it that is actually really well. It has kind of like a lock-on feature when you get close to cars. The aim will actually lock onto a car like it is right here. It's actually pretty insane. Also, the front has a very good ram weapon. This, of course, goes for $1,245,000, and the Insurgent goes for $675,000. Very good buys for both, and definitely a must-have. Next, let's talk about the Acid Lab. This is number 7. Of course, this vehicle comes when you complete all of the first dose missions, and it will cost you $750,000. Then you got to do 10 DAX missions and pay another $250,000 for the upgrade. But once you do that, for $1 million and 16 missions in total, you get an absolute monster of a business, but even more monster of a vehicle. This thing can literally take like 100 rockets. It will never explode. No one in the lobby is ever going to, actually sit there and try to blow this up. This thing is just insanely powerful on the defensive side of things. And of course, it makes you money. So that's why it made its way on its list. I couldn't leave the Acid Lab out. It's not fast. It's not the prettiest thing. You can see here, it just eats rockets all day. Like I said, it's not the fastest. It's not the prettiest thing, but it definitely is a monster of a vehicle. And like I said, it makes you money. So if a vehicle can make you money, I think it somewhat deserves a spot on a list. Of course, the Acid Lab is one of the better businesses, and the business wouldn't be possible, of course, without the Brigade. So the Brigade for the Acid Lab, like I said, this is definitely in my top 10. simply off the defensive, benefits that you get from it. And then also, of course, the fact that you can make money from it. I think it's definitely a deserved spot here in the top 10. But let's move on to the next car here. This is, of course, the HSW Drag. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the full name. I just call it the HSW Drag. This bike is absolutely awesome. It costs $976,000 plus $1,450,000 for the HSW upgrade. Sorry, old console users. If you're not on the new consoles, I'm sorry, man. There are HSW vehicles on this list. I'm, of course, on P5, so I am going to include HSW vehicles. But this car is amazing. This bike is amazing. It's the fastest bike in the game. It turns like a monster if you're drifting and using the sport brake or whatever, the e-brake. It turns absolutely amazing, and this will make all your HSW races on the weekly basis a cakewalk. And of course, you make $250,000 every time you finish those, so definitely deserves a spot on here. But next up, we have one of my personal favorites, the Pegassi Weaponized Ignis. This thing is an absolute monster, coming in at $4,500,000 plus $500,000 for the HSW upgrade. It has a missile lock-on jammer, making its defense relatively good. It ain't bulletproof or anything like that, but no one could lock onto you, which is a big benefit. And the car, just like the Zentorno, it sticks very well to the ground. It handles very well, as you can see here. And then, of course, with that HSW upgrade, it just makes the car a monster, bro. This thing is so fast. It handles so well. It sticks to the ground well. It looks good. It has good customization. And to top it all off, it has a mounted gun on top. It's not the greatest. It's a little hard to aim it, but ultimately you still have a gun on top of a Lamborghini. Like, you can't go wrong. This car is definitely one of my favorites in the whole game and definitely deserved the spot here. But anyway, we are going to move on now to the next vehicle. That is going to be the Stinger TT, the Grotti Stinger TT HSW, whatever. It has a very, very long name, but you guys get the point. The Grotti Stinger TT with the HSW and Amani Tech capabilities. This car costs $2,380,000 plus $1,418,000 for the HSW upgrade. It doesn't have the best handling. It's actually really hard to handle, despite what you see in this clip. It looks like I'm handling the car very well. I'm making it look better than what it is, man. Trust me, this car's handling is terrible. Even if you put a spoiler wing on it for the extra downforce, the turning is very stiff. It's pretty much good in straight lines and for pretty much just speed and defense. Of course, with the Amani Tech capabilities, it has missile lock-on jammers. It has slick proximity mines. It has all the defense that you want. It doesn't have offense, obviously. There's no mounted guns or anything like that. But due to the speed and, of course, the defense, it had to make its way on the list. But let's move into another vehicle that is very convenient, not only to get you around, but also to make you money, and that is the Sparrow helicopter. I couldn't make this video without including the Sparrow helicopter. Remember, this is top 10 vehicles, so not just cars. So we have our first helicopter on the list. I have the Sparrow. Of course, this comes with your Kotsaka submarine as a moon vehicle. You have to purchase it for $1,800,000. You could put a mounted machine gun on it, or, of course, lock-on missiles. You have infinite lock-on missiles, which already makes this elite and pretty much S tier, but it also helps you get into the city faster coming out of your submarine, so you could, of course, finish those Cayo Perico setup missions literally in half the time. I mean, most of our money, I'm pretty sure, most of you out there, a lot of your money comes from the Cayo Perico heist itself. So, of course, being able to finish the heist in half the time and cut the setup time in half with this helicopter is definitely a big bonus. And if you are a Cayo Perico runner, if you run it consistently and you don't have the Sparrow, I don't know what you're doing. You definitely need to go and grab one. If you're a Cayo Perico runner, I definitely use this thing all the time. Absolutely S tier. But anyway, let's move on to the number 3 spot. And that, of course, is the Ocelot Virtue. This car has a lot of defense. I think also it could take up to 20 rockets, just like the Night Shark. Of course, it's electric. The electric Amani Tech cars, for some reason, could always just take like a bajillion rockets. I don't know why. Maybe because they don't run on gasoline, so they technically don't blow up as easy. But the defense capabilities on this car are amazing. It could take 1,000,000 rockets. It has missile lock-on jammers, so they can't even use like homing missiles. They have to actually manually aim at you. And then, of course, not to mention, the car just looks fantastic. Look at that acceleration, bro. The acceleration on this car is literally cracked. The handling isn't it's not as bad as the other electric vehicles either. Like some of the other electric cars, the handling's terrible. The handling's actually decent on this car. You know what I'm saying? And the acceleration is just cracked, bro. Just like all the other electric cars. but it also has really good handling. So that, of course, definitely lets it earn its spot at number 3 in my personal list. This car is very fun to drive, very good looking, very good defense, absolutely deserves a spot here. And you could get it for free by completing all the first dose missions, which is a big plus. But anyway, moving in at number 2, look at this absolute beauty. This is, of course, the new Grotti Amaggio, Turismo Amaggio. It is absolutely a monster, bro. This thing is very good off the line, unlike the Emirates. But like the Emirates, it turns very well on corners. Ignore that little crash there. I came here to the shipyard so you could actually see how well this thing turns, like even at high speeds. It pretty much has the handling of the Emirates at high speeds while also not having the shitty takeoff off the line like the Emirates. So this thing is like a better version of the Prussian Emirates, and it's absolutely amazing, bro. The handling is literally the best in the game, and I personally think it's the best looking car in the game. And since its release, it's definitely been my favorite car in the entire game. I use it as much as I can in free mode. It's absolutely fire, bro. If you don't have this car, definitely get it. It comes in at $2,845,000. Definitely worth the pickup. But coming in at number 1, I had to do it, the Oppressor, man. Whether it's completing missions, whether it's griefing other players, whether it's hunting griefers. Of course, I personally don't use my Oppressor to grief other players. That's lame. And if you do it, man, you know, cut it out, bro. Just, Oppressor should be used to only hunt griefers that are ruining lobbies, which is what I use mine for, or to complete missions, which is also what I use mine for. Of course, you have countermeasures equipped with it. You have rockets. You know what I'm saying? We all know what the Oppressor does, man. I don't gotta go too much into it. The Oppressor is definitely the best vehicle in my opinion, whether you're completing missions, whether it's just getting around the map easier. The Oppressor's fire, bro. The price, of course, for if you have the trade price unlocked is $6 million. Full price will be $8 million. So I suggest getting the trade price. I think you got to complete like some work in your terabyte, but it's worth it because you save $2 million. And it definitely is a big save. So you definitely want to get that trade price completed. But anyway, man, that is my top 10. Of course, at 10, we had this Inferno. At 9, we had the Night Shark / Insurgent. Then we had the Brigade for the Acid Lab. Then at number 6, we had the HSW Drag. Then we had the Weaponized Ignis. Then we had the Grotti Stinger TT HSW. Then the Sparrow. Then the Ocelot Virtue. Then the Grotti Turismo Amaggio. And now the Oppressor. That is my top 10. Let me know if you guys agree. If you do have a different list, again, feel free to comment down below what your favorite top 10 cars are and which ones you'd replace, or if you just simply agree with my list. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, leave a subscribe. That helps the channel grow tremendously and only takes 1 second of your time. And until the next one, peace out, boys.